If you have ever eaten at Cracker Barrel, please give me a CB in the comments. If you have ever eaten at Cracker Barrel, give me a CB in the comments. If you are okay, or if you are over here on TikTok, give me some hearts if you've ever eaten at Cracker Barrel. Okay? Now, if you've been paying any attention, you probably know that there has been all of this discussion about the Cracker Barrel logo. The original Cracker Barrel logo, it says Cracker Barrel. You love Cracker Barrel, Mason Jar? Okay. It says it's Cracker Barrel with an old man sitting next to a barrel, and then under it says Old Country Store, right? And that has been the logo forever, for as long as I have known. But recently they tried to revamp their logo. Does anybody remember that brief moment when Cracker Barrel was trying to revamp their logo? I want to make sure that I don't forget, that I don't leave anybody out here. Oh, I always forget to change this banner under here. Does anybody remember the brief change in logos? Anyway, if you didn't catch it, essentially Cracker Barrel, they eliminated the old man sitting next to the barrel. They eliminated the Old Country Store under it. So it was just a yellow object, a yellow shape that said Cracker Barrel, right? And everybody was in a frenzy, okay? By the way, if you don't know, the old man that's in the Cracker Barrel original logo, you saw it. He's called Uncle Herschel. All right, so they tried to remove Uncle Herschel, and people went crazy. And actually, they had spent about $700 million trying to modernize their business. They're like, we're a little too old-fashioned. Maybe we need to catch up with the times. Let's revamp the logo. And they spent $700 million on this new revamp, this new logo. All right. The problem is there was a lot of emotional connection, Uncle Herschel. There was a lot of a lot of emotional connection with the original Cracker Barrel logo. Anybody, does that resonate with anybody? People were like, why did you take Uncle Herschel off the logo? That was part of what we liked about it. People say that there are problems with racism over at the Cracker Barrel, and that's part of what makes it taste better. But there was so much backlash. People complained so much on social media. Toupe Fiasco up in the White House even said something about it. And Cracker Barrel lost nearly $100 million in market value. Okay. It got so bad that they were like, forget it. We are not changing the logo. We're going back. Uncle Herschel, he's still on here. Okay. And this is why this is the importance. The new logo. Mason Jar said, yeah, I understand the racial stance on it, but the new logo looked dumb. Did anybody like the new Cracker Barrel logo? Anyway, but this just goes to show the importance of brand identity and your brand. People can get so attached to it when you build it, and they come to rely on that, right? So that's why brands that have grown all of that equity, where people have this emotional connection to their brand, that's why they fight so hard, when other people use their brands. Mason Jar said, bring back Uncle Herschel and Aunt Jemima. But that is a good example. How many of you guys are out here looking for the Pearl Milling Company pancake mix, right? We all grew, regardless of the history. Yes, it was racist. It was Aunt Jemima's pancake, whatever. But everybody recognized that brand, right? Everybody recognized that character on the on the box, right? So now the other day I was actually in the grocery store and I saw pearl milling pancake mix. I was like, pearl milling, and I was like, oh, that's what they call Aunt Jemima now, right? I had grown so accustomed to the Aunt Jemima brand that them switching over to the pearl milling company, while I while I commend the effort to do the right thing, there's still that brand identity, right? So the people at Cracker Barrel, they have gone back to their original logo because that is what people came to know and love. So you guys out there who are building your brands, right? It's important that you build your brand identity the way that you like it. You build your brand identity in a way that the culture, the people, the society, they kind of come to rely on it. It's their cushion. And you do that by providing good service. You do that by being top quality in your field. Now, listen, I'm not saying that Cracker Barrel is fine dining, but they have their niche and people like them in their niche. Mason Jar said, yeah, leave the brands alone and focus on more important issues. I'm not saying that part, Mason Jar, because that is racist.